Welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. We are on live in Blog Talk Radio. Yay! Sometimes Blog Talk Radio doesn't show up even if we do. So I'm always very grateful to have Blog Talk show up. And so we want to send out our greeting to our global family, our Blog Talk Radio family, the Female Solution, which is live as well. So, welcome and let's welcome our global family, which means good morning, good afternoon, and good evening because they're everywhere on the planet.
Blog Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
So, my guest is here. I am so excited to bring on this fabulous goddess tonight from North Carolina. I have been so wanting to speak to someone in North Carolina who has survived the Hurricane Helen. So this is the night. I give thanks. So I want to give thanks by drumming in as we usually do. We're going to ask our ancestors to help us out tonight to bring forth truth, light, love, compassion. We need it so much right now. And let's just get started with that, and then we'll be back to welcome our guests. So get your drums out, and let's welcome our ancestors with a beautiful song from Becca Shea called Heartbeat. So let's do it. Drum, drum, drum.
And has blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors have fallen, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the peace of Yahweh. He's bringing us power through peaceful unity. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. Dry bones come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel it, yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. We cry out, out. Your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up the standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Brave and stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So my soul God, and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel it, yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together, bring us together. We cry out, out. Your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry out, out. Your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry out, out. Your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat.
All right. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We are here on this 11/10/24. It's actually an 11. Oh boy, I'm excited. How do you get that? 11/10/24 is an 11. Well, you add 11/10 and 20/24. All those numbers come to 11. So this is a powerful day, evening. And that song, I love that song because Yeshua is the name of spirit of love and wisdom. Love and wisdom. So we are asking a spirit of love and wisdom. Some call Yeshua Jesus, but I think of Yeshua as a spirit of love and wisdom, bringing us together in these really divisive times. So we're talking unity and purpose tonight with this beautiful sister, Empress. Empres Menen. Is it? How do you pronounce it? Menen.
Menen.
Oh, Sabah. Oh, sister, you're in the dark a little bit. Let me see. I should have tested. Okay, there you are. I can see. We could use a little more light on you. Do you have a lamp or something you could turn on?
Let's see if I can get some more light for you.
Yeah, because we want to see your glorious face, and yeah, it's just a little bit dark. And we want to thank all of you for joining us tonight, because these days it's a collective effort to bring the unity and get rid of the division. And oddly enough, I was talking to a friend in North Carolina today. He lives in Hendersonville. I called him. That's much better. And I called him up, Empress, and he's eight. I didn't know he was old. He's in his 80s. In fact, I've known he and his brothers. They used to sing in a gospel choir, and now he said he's a reformed atheist. So anyway, he's also a diehard Democrat. Oh my goodness! But we laughed so much. I laughed so much with this man, and I thought, oh, there's hope. I can have a healthy conversation with a Democrat in this on this fourth day from post election. So welcome, welcome, my sister. How are you this evening?
Oh, I am so well. Thank you so much for inviting me into your circle.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. As I said, I have been wanting to talk to a human being who survived that horrible storm. And so we are all ears to hear from you, my sister. First of all, I usually ask my guests to tell us a little bit about where you were born and the journey you've been on up to now that you feel you want to share with us.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's
Are you a native North Carolina?
no, I'm not a native of North Carolina. I'm a native of South Carolina, but I am a Southern woman.
Oh, yes.
So that means anything south of DC all the way to the border of Texas
Yep. That's
is mine.
yeah.
You
That's
know? So I'm not defined by those borders at all. I claim it, and then um, I can say I can go a little bit further, and sometimes I go all the way to the Pacific on that side, and all the way to Canada up there, and all the way to the Atlantic over there, because it's it belongs to all of me. But I came to this in South Carolina. I've been living here in these mountains for the past 15 years. And we're like I know if you saw the movie Avatar,
yes.
when Home Tree got struck and the avatars are just like, ah! Well, that's kind of how it's been feeling. But like the avatars, we tapped into AWA and everybody got busy. So it's that time. Although, I mean, you live in Florida, so
Right.
you know what Mama Oshun can do when she gets a little bit kind of some kind of way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
um, for us here in North Carolina, it was very much a wake call because, we've been sitting here on our mountain very arrogantly saying, ah, yeah, everything that comes, over the top of our hills. We don't really get touched like that. But Sister and Mama Ocean came in and she just got sick right on top of us. And then she threw up and then she gave birth, her waters broke, all of that. You name it, it happened all in a very, very, very short space of time.
Were you in your house the whole time that the winds were and Oshun was doing the thing?
Well, the irony of that is that I actually was not here the night of the storm.
Okay.
I have a daughter that is about to give birth to her second child, and she lives in Palm Springs, and I had gone to visit her and,
Wow.
and was scheduled to fly back home that Friday. Um, and of course, I had to cancel my flight. But my son was here, and it was the most harrowing thing because, of course, there was no um, uh, power. There was no internet. Um, I finally, a friend reached out and was like, Empress, we were, you answered. We were trying to get to you, and we can't get up your road. And I said, but I'm not there. I'm in Palm Springs, and
Oh,
but what about your son? And so we, text around, and 2 days later, I actually got to speak to him. Um, and
and how old is he?
pardon?
How old is your son?
Oh, he's an adult. He's not a youth.
Right, right.
And of course, the morning of the storm, they were going down our road, which was very much devastated because our road, um, excuse me, it just kind of slipped. Our road sits along the shores of a creek. I'd often tease the people in North Asheville. I put my toe in the water before it gets to you because it feeds the watershed as it goes down.
Yeah,
However, the power of the water, and you all there in Florida, you're right on the ocean, so you know how how powerful she can be. But being here in the mountain and seeing streams become rivers is quite a different phenomena.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
and the amount of stone that came, and I mean, it topped F-150 trucks like they were, nothing. And there are, trees, huge, huge, huge trees, broken like twigs. Um, so the
so
the
it was actually a category 4 when it hit your area. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they're like, this is like a once in 1,000 year kind of phenomena.
yes,
Um, on some levels, it is shocking, and on other levels, is actually not shocking to I, because I know what's happening to Mother Earth.
yes,
Now,
yeah,
I've witnessed the um, heartbreaking piles of trash, and the plastic that's in the ocean. In Haiti, I'm standing here in on the shore and looking at the sea, and all I see is just waves and waves and waves of trash,
mm.
plastic, way, and it's just like, wow.
You
Friend of
know, and I'm at war with plastic. So when you tell me that, it motivates me to do even more against the plastic. I go through my neighborhood, plastic. I'm picking up plastic all the time. Every time I go through picking up, it's plastic, plastic, and more plastic. And then my granddaughter made a video. We're covered in plastic because I'm now sewing linen only. Linen, linen, linen. No more polyester. So that's big what you're saying, that mother the earth and the winds, and they put the plastic right in our face.
Oh, completely and totally. I mean, around right around the globe, there is a destruction, and then there is the spiritual grief of my family in Palestine. That's all going into the Yemen. That's a powerful force, that grief that's going into the Yemen. on top of the bombs, on top of the oil, on top of all of the other chemicals that they're dumping into the sea. It's serious. So for us to be here in North Carolina, in our sacred Blue Hills, and to experience that, I have to say to the rest of the nation, wake up, get ready, because right now, Ventura's on fire, you know.
Yes, absolutely. I was watching a YouTube video that I might share later about spiritually transmitted diseases. And he was talking about we're on a new timeline. Something strange is happening. So you felt that, right? New timeline. When you talked about a creek actually changing its direction, and then all that you're describing, do you feel that something strange is happening, not just in North Carolina, but all over?
No, I don't think that there's something strange happening. What I think is that um, generally ones are not attuned to what the earth is saying. You know,
Okay,
I
right.
I live on the earth, and literally, camp and sleep on the earth a great part of the year. We live in a place where the black bear, I'm like, hey, bear, because he'll come and trot and sit, come on my deck, and he's like leaning over the banister, having a little look around, and I'm like, hey, bear, knocking on the window, and he's
Are
looking.
you kidding?
No, I'm not. The turkeys, the raccoon, the squirrels, the all of the birds, we live with the animals here. You have no choice. You can be driving in Asheville and there's traffic and it's stopped because some creature's coming,
Yeah, turtles or whatever.
across the road. And I love being in that kind of environment, when the pandemic was happening and the carnivores were freaking out because they said the meat markets were closed. People in the hill were like, oh, well, Papa Steve's got a cow over there or whatever. But the whole point of what one's trying to say, particularly to my brothers and sisters in the cities. Okay, so you can't plant acres and acres. I don't plant acres and acres either, but plant one pot of something. You can get a big pot, grow one tomato, or grow 4 heads of lettuce. Take a step towards self sustainability. Make sure that you have basic fundamental things covered within your household, that you have at least 10 to 15 gallons of water for each person that's in your house, because you never know when you're going to turn that tap and it does not come on.
That's right.
What are you going to do? They come for you, bad boy, and it's those kind of times, that I would say about 8 years ago, when the paramilitary ones were all building their bunkers and everybody was kind of like joking about it. Well, hello. I'm glad some of them good old boys built their bunkers, because I tell you, when the shit hit the fan, you know, they
Bunkers came in handy.
out of their bunkers with their toys has saved me.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'd rather have, the man with the chainsaw than the man with the mic at this point.
Ooh, say it loud. Yes,
And it's that time.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
it's that time when we have to really draw on the fundamental things that our ancestors taught us, and I'm talking about grandma. I'm talking about grandpa. I grew up in the South, and in my family, people made quilts, people canned, um, people did all of those kind of things. Today they call it Reiki. My grandma called it "Let me lay my hands on you."
All right, yeah.
Today they said, "I'm going to make an altar," but she had her prayer closet. When something would go down, and that's where she would dip. You know, so and never forget those things because I know that when the infant has a cold, if you make that pine straw pillow and give that child some corn silk tea, you don't have to give them those other things, and I'm not saying, don't go to the doctor and don't take the medicines because there is a point at which you have to, sometimes you got to take the NyQuil and wash it down with some champagne. But until
Oh my goodness.
that point, the corn silk tea will probably take care of it.
Yes, yes. Alka-Seltzer Plus is what my friend in Arizona would use. She had lots of pain she had to manage, and I would say, "How are you doing?" "Well, I got Alka-Seltzer Plus, so I'm feeling okay." Works for her, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, on this side of the world is NyQuil and a bit of champagne, but
Oh,
uh,
ooh. I would think you would say bourbon or something like that, but oh, okay, champagne might work too.
no, darling, no, darling,
In fact, didn't they use whiskey a lot for those things?
no, they used moonshine.
Okay, moonshine.
Is straight up moonshine and lemons and honey. It's called Uncle Joe's Toddy.
Okay.
Uncle Joe go in the closet, comes out with the quart jar. That thing, it looks like water, but don't try and drink it like water because it is lightning with a little lemon and honey. If you don't wake up good the next day, then well, you know, you're real bad. But
But we need that knowledge.
yeah,
That's the point of it all. After a storm like you're experiencing, we need the knowledge now. So that's the wake up: is people start planting and gain the knowledge that grandma and grandpa had and that they used all the time, right?
well, totally. But it's a little bit more serious than that, my husband, because we live in an age and time that we are so disconnected from each other. We're disconnected from the earth. And humanity has been put on this psychological hamster wheel. Ones don't even recognize that they're on, like everybody's on the wheel, and anybody that's not on the wheel, those that are on, trying to get them on the wheel too. And it's time for the wheel to stop. It's time for the wheel to stop. And I say it's time for the wheel to stop because, I had to wake up and realize that, oh, wait a minute, I'm the grandma now. And what is it that I'm leaving for my grandchildren? You know, I had to wake up and realize that, oh, okay, I used to blame, those that were older than me, the hippies that sold out and went into the system. But now I bear responsibility. And because I bear a responsibility to my granddaughters and to my grandsons, I say to all of those that have like come into your office and are listening, please, you know, take some very fundamental steps that will help us to get back to our humanity. Within African spirituality, we say the invoke the force of into, because um, by definition, it's that force which does not diminish, and then that breaks down into the muntu, the man, the woman, the kent, the things around us, the hantu, the place and the time, and the kuntu, which is the modality. And the African modality has always been that of functionality. But yet somehow we've moved away from our functionality and have embraced a superficiality which diminishes our very powers. Okay? I used to say to the youth, when you drop your pants in Bankhead, the youth in Soweto drop their pants. Youth in Miami, when you're rapping about the B's and the H's, and the youth in London are imitating you, because don't you understand that you have not just a responsibility to yourself, but you have a very unique position in that you have influence which you understand the power of what it could be. Can we change that conversation to one of power? Can we change that conversation to one of growth? Can we change it from the blame and the shame to the I'm black and I'm proud, or or I'm a man and I'm a woman, or I'm a whatever. I'm a human being.
I'm empowered.
About this earth, that cares about other people, and that lives their life according to, you know, a principle which is to generate something good.
Now, when you came back from Palm Beach, what day did you come back after the storm? Were you a week out after this came back a week? Because I would imagine that when you came back, it was like a shock to you had to absorb the new surroundings, the new landscape. What was that like? When did you come back, and then what was that like to actually accept and absorb what you were now experiencing?
I came back after 6 days,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and of course the still very much in the cleanup, no power. Um, I spent from the time of the storm until I actually landed. The one link that really saved me, one was that I have to give it to the Spectrum News One team of WNC, because they really kept everybody informed that had access to um, television, which I did in California. I just tuned in and I could see some of the things that were going on at home. But also, what happened was that here in North Carolina, there are a lot of naturalists, a lot of survivalists, a lot of yoga teachers, a lot of just a lot of people that are very much connected in that way. So networks started to form, and they all were popping up through on the Telegram. And it's actually through one of the networks of people that were going out to search for ones that I was able to get a message um, to my son. Uh, and it was also the means by which supplies and different things were being arranged. But it was quite, like I said, the only way that one can describe the feeling is like the avatars when got hit, because you come and you see your beloved standing talls lying down, you see your neighbor's house washed. When I got to my own grounds, my sacred grounds where my lodge is, and it's also by the creek, was completely mashed up. The very bridge that I needed to cross the creek to access to go to my home um, was
Gone.
was down. So um, at that point, my son and my neighbor, which is another tragic story that I will have to share later, they put down two boards, and so one was like doing the Simone Biles across these boards to get to the other side where the house was. Um, yeah, they made a makeshift road like through the woods on my side of the road from my neighbors. And then there's a point where the creek was low, and they cut out through there. So
Okay.
people that had Jeeps and Subarus and all these kinds of cars, they went on this makeshift road and gunned over the creek. And I'm standing here, here I am, a Mercedes owner in Subaru country, stuff at that.
Yes, make it work. Make it work.
Well, so through that very same link of different ones, I was able to find this angel group of men who came out, and they built a ramp, which was about, well, actually, I know it's like 15 and a half feet by 12 and a half feet. And the reason that I know it is because I measured it and said, oh, this is the basis for the outdoor stage I've been waiting for. When my bridge is repaired, it's already here. But for,
Oh, how convenient.
but for now, it's serving the purpose. But they built this so that I could get my car um, out to the road, and now I just park it at the top of the drive and walk down so that I can actually get out. But last Saturday, I actually, it was last Friday, I went to Eastern North Carolina, because I'm a part of the North Carolina Rastafari Union, and there we have land, and it was the celebration of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty. While I was away, my neighbor, for whatever reason, was out late at night and decided to drive his Jeep through the woods.
Oh dear.
And he drove it
Wood.
through the woods and somehow made a wrong turn and ended up in the pond.
In a pond, you said?
In the pond.
In the pond. Okay. Not good.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, and to have, made it all the way through the storm and then and it just made me think, like this happened and this happened, right here. What other things are happening throughout my city with other people as a result of what has happened? There are people who've been forced to leave their homes because they don't have roads. There are other people who've refused to leave their homes because they didn't have roads, and forced the authorities to make a way. There are people who've lost everything. There
Yes.
are people who've just decided, oh, well, it's time for me to go and live someplace else. So our whole community's in um,
Transition, I guess you would say.
yes, it's going to take a while to put everything together. But the beautiful thing is that it did actually bring the community so much closer together. I mean, I don't know. It's a funny kind of thing. You get up into the hills, and people would say, by, "Oh, Empress, where do you live?" And I'd say something like, "Oh, well, you don't want to come there. It's nothing up there, but uh, hillbillies and bears. You probably."
What
And
a community, huh?
because we're jealous of our community, we like people to visit, but then we want you to go away. uh, we don't want to stay.
Keep it pure. Keep it pure.
and and that's a horrible thing to say because even though I claim it all the way from DC to the borders of Texas, um, I call many places on this earth home, um, and actually have homes in other places. But it's very much that time. It's that time for organizations to stop having all of these discourses down these rabbit holes that make absolutely no sense except to make somebody feel like they might think that they're smart and intellectually superior, but our children are still suffering in schools, and um, we're still dealing with the same things because we've got to somehow activate that universal force of humanity. We've got to activate those things which are going to actually bring about that sanity. And I don't know, sometimes when we say, oh, well, what about the politics of this and the politics of that? And I say, I was in South Africa during the time of apartheid. And I know that apartheid did not end because one day they got up and changed a law. Nor did apartheid end because one day everybody decided kumbaya, we feel good and let's all be brothers. No, it's always about the economic, because economically it did not make sense for what was happening in Africa for that system to continue, so it had to go. And here, um, I don't know, sister, and it's again, it's a double-edged sword because coming from South Africa and coming to Georgia and working in an arts program with some youth one summer, we would have lunches for the children, and these kids would go through the line and they'd take the tray, but they would never eat the food. They might drink the milk, they might eat the cookie. Occasionally, they might eat, a piece of the fruit, but generally, they would go from the line to the trash can and they'd sit and have whatever it was that their parents had given them or whatever. And one day, some kids were like, "Can we go to Kentucky Friday?" And I just saw them throw away food, and I'm like, "No, are you serious?
Oh my goodness.
Are I'm the wrong one. I just saw you throw away food, and I just left kids that may have been there for the day. And you come and you ask me, can you go for fast food? I'm sorry. No, it's not happening." And they're looking at me like, you know, WTF, and I'm like, yeah, it's like that.
Right, right.
But all of these phenomena that are happening, you know, we've got the hurricanes that are coming, the fire, as I mentioned, the snows are coming, We had the pandemic. People were losing their mind because they didn't know how to ground. They didn't know just how to be with oneself.
Right, right. Be alone.
To be alone. We've lived through the AIDS epidemic. We've had the Ebola scares and God knows whatever else, and the plagues.
And we're still here.
And we're still here. And there will be more things that will come.
Yes, yes.
But what are we going to do? That thing you touched on about um, that spiritual war. There's a spiritual war. There's a physical war. Um, you know, Sundance, because I have young nephews and Black men out in this world is, a worry, because you never know. What?
Well, I had a guest on Friday. He was a ex-con, 21 years in prison, and his mission in Chicago is to stop the pathway of the black youth to graveyards and prisons. So he has formed an organization not just in Chicago but in other cities as well. And it took 21 years in prison for him to have a perspective of helping his community and doing something very positive
Mm-hmm.
to interfere with the pattern there for all these years, graveyards. And when I heard him on this show talking about, I was like, whoa, you made an impact on me about graveyards and prison. We don't think about it like that, just like we don't think about Holocaust in black women's wombs.
Yes.
I heard Ye was interviewed on this show called Drink Champs, and he was talking about how the Jews were calling him anti-Semitic, and he said they insisted that he go to a Holocaust museum tour, and he shot back at them and said, "What are you talking about? The Holocaust museum is in the womb of black women." And it's like, whoa, and everybody. So we're at a place to, like you say, get stronger in our recovery and beliefs that are going to help us survive, whether it's a hurricane or something else. But we have to look at where we've been, and even this political drama that we just went through and we're going through. Uh,
Yeah.
this is not for the weak. We
No.
have a lot of weak sisters and brothers out there that they we went through a simple campaign, and now we still got people crying and depressed and all. I say, okay, I'm gonna pat you on the back, but like my brother Tyrone in Chicago, we have to focus and start working in the community, like you said, a wake up. This is a wake up call. All these tragedies are meant to wake us up and help us focus. So how can we help, for instance, North Carolina? What do people need to do to wake up now after this tragedy?
Well, one of the things that's a blessing is that here people are very, very organized. Although now people are getting tired.
Yeah.
I hope that when I'm going to go down to Atlanta on the 14th, which is Thursday.
Yes.
Our dear sister in Tawhida Tupac and all of the lovely ones there at WRFG and their friends. Um, and most of all, Kebby Williams of Gallery 992. We're going to have a hurricane relief gathering. There's going to be some artists from North Carolina because the Menen Artistic Expressions of the Diaspora, which is my organization, um, the whole aim is education through the art. So we support artists and, of course, talk about those things that are important. So we're going to go down to Georgia, and I've particularly been targeting people in the educational system that are working with our youth, because I want youth from the city to come up to North Carolina and to do some hands-on work. It's not that far, it's a 2.5, 3 hour drive. Once you get out of Gwinnett, you're here. But to actually come and to do some stonework, to come and be a part of the riverbank restoration, because we're going to go up in those hills and dig up some mountain laurel and dig up some fir. We got to replant a whole bunch of stuff, to preserve the riverbanks. But these are things they need to know how to do. And just to be on the earth, to be able to move those stones and make a fire, know how to actually camp.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. When I was in Palm Springs, it's the desert. I'm a Southern girl. I need moisture. The desert is really not is not my sip, but it's very beautiful. But woman's walking around like, oh, geez, what would I eat out here? And I'm looking, oh, geez, what would I drink? Geez, how would I shelter myself? And then my grandson, who's 3, says, well, he calls me BB. He says, well, BB, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I guess I'd have to take refuge in one of these grapefruit trees, because they have all of these giant grapefruit trees in Palm Springs.
Oh, how fun. Yeah.
I know.
My kind of place. Well, listen, we've got a couple of people with questions. I got someone in the Blog Talk studio with their hand up. Let me go there first, and then I'll read the comments in Facebook. Mama, I think this Mama AZ from Arizona. 336-350. Your mic is open.
Dr. V,
Yes, ma'am. Your mic is open. Go ahead.
thank you so much. Sister, thank you so much for being on this show this very powerful day. Today is an 11. I don't know why I thought it was a 10, but it's an 11. And tomorrow is an 11-11. That's the beginning of the gateway opening up. Now, what I'd like to ask you, the artist district, my medicine son who does ceremony and sweat there in Asheville, he said that all of that art district is no longer there. And I cannot get in touch with my sister, Sister Yeye, who is also an artist. Are you familiar with her? And could you tell us about the art district and the waterway there in Asheville? Because they had a lot of ceremonies at that way back at downtown at that waterway. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, I don't know your sister Yeye. I will have to find this sister Yeye. You're not the first person who's now asking me about her. The only thing that I can say about the River Arts District is we are standing here like the avatars. Home tree got hit, sister. The river ate the River Arts District. There are still some buildings standing. People are slowly digging their way out. I have a friend who had a studio in the buildings there. Fortunately for him, his studio was on the third floor because the water came up to the second floor. And it was stranded there the entire time.
Wow.
I've just gone to the edge of the River Arts District. You know, it's one of these things where it's been so hard. And then there are days when you're good. And you go out, you go to the supermarket, and everything is kind of starting to look a little bit normal. And then you turn down a road that has particularly been hit, and your heart is broken all over again. For those who may not know the Asheville area, it's a wide area in one sense in terms of space. I mean, because we can drive 30, 40 miles. Somebody will say, oh, come over here. It's just over here. And you've driven 30, 40 miles. But at the same time, the communities, like in small clusters, that's how I would like to sort of describe it. The River Arts District is right on the French Broad. There is an artist by the name of Julie Merrill who will be coming with us to Atlanta. She's a jewelry artist, and she's been doing a lot of work with ones down in the River Arts District. And, you know, all I can say to people out there is if you know someone who's an artist in the River Arts District, you know, now is the time to support them, you know, buy some art, send them some money. You know, we're good on paper towels for right now. but
Okay.
but people have other things that
I
have
hear you.
people have things that have to get done.
Sister,
Yeah, let me take a break, and I need to take a break. We're at the hour mark. Usually we in the show, but we're going to go over because we've got comments in the Facebook and YouTube, and I want to get to those. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more comments and questions.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
All right, now we're back. And Empress Siba, do you have a Cash App?
We have a Cash App, which is $ Empress Sabah.
Okay, $. Is that in caps? Empress Seba. Is that all together? SEBA?
Yes, it's all together.
Okay, $ Empress Seba. All right, I'm going to put that in the chat. And we've got some comments here from Facebook user says, greetings, my sisters. I don't know who that is. I can't really see the face. So we just thank you for your greeting. Wow, nature nurtures every time. What an experience. She was talking about your earlier comment. Thank us. To Empres Menen, I appreciate your reminder. Live on the earth. Plant in a big pot that is manageable. Yes, I'm doing that more and more. I've got 3 pots with avocado seeds that actually sprouted and they're growing. So I'm excited. And you know what I'm so excited about? I was looking for watermelon seeds everywhere all year because it's hard to find. But I found watermelon seeds, threw them in my compost area. I've got a little melon coming up now. I'm like, ooh. I'm like a little kid. And maybe by the end of December, I don't know. But it's a long vine that I have to keep moving the vine so it doesn't move. But I'm going to have some melons this year. So that's what I'm doing. Starting what you said, sister. And then Facebook use Uncle Joe Lightning, time for the wheel to stop. Do you know Uncle Joe Lightning? What?
Maybe referring to the tonic when we were calling it.
Oh,
lightning tonic.
Okay. What would you consider the fundamental? Can you give me at least 5 of these basic fundamental words to sustain a healthy communication with self during these tragic times?
Probably the first thing that I would say that everybody should do is to just ground.
Oh, okay.
You
You're
know,
you're talking going barefoot?
yeah, just
Okay.
straight up ground. Take your shoes off and just go and stand on the earth and ground. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say is drink lots of water. The third thing that I would say is to be true to yourself, you know, and treat people who really want to be treated.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that famous saying.
Yes, and I would say uh, take care of take care of your surroundings because if you
That's a really important one too.
yeah, it's very important. It's
Yeah,
it's very important.
yeah. I
Uh,
pick up trash in my neighborhood, and I had a neighbor stop. He was driving his truck. Stop. He said, "Hey, I got something for you," and he handed me a gift card from Publix grocery store. And then I had another guy who was, I think, the truck driver. He stopped and said, "You know," and I picked up trash. He said, "God loves you," and I said, "Oh yeah, I know." It's like, and people recognize the need to clean up the environment, but they don't want to do it for some
yeah,
reason.
I mean, people
They can't.
asking for profound statements of change, but in fact, it's very, very simple. And if you enact these very simple things, the results will be so profound that you will actually be able to handle a next thing. So uh, we have to like begin where we can begin. Uh,
Absolutely.
and there's one who might say, "Oh well, I do kind of do this," and then if you do that, then tune in because Spirit's going to tell you what it is that you need to do.
And so, how do people tune in? Grounding? You think you believe grounding is one way to tune in? How else can people begin to hear and listen to what Mother Nature is saying to us?
I mean, that's a trick question.
Oh no, I didn't mean it that way.
Explain to a blind person what the color blue looks like.
Right. Okay.
All right. Explain to me what the color of blue is of my sky right now. You can't see that. So no matter what adjectives I ascribe to it, it's not going to reflect what the creator has put there. You know, we have become so um, in our heads. We live in a society that has got us so locked into so many different systems that we automatically want to have, okay, well, what's the formula for this? Okay, what's the formula for that? But missing the very fundamental point. Because all of these theories and all of the rabbit holes are the intellectual runnings of a one. What we have to look at, what are the cognitive effects of our actions? What are the cognitive effects of what it is that we've put into our bodies? What are the effects of what it is that, you know, we're thinking, and it are the effects of the words, because words sound power and action, you know, is power. It's just like we were talking about earlier about how youth all over the world look to youth in America. Um, and I don't think that youth in America, particularly uh, uh, African American youth, have an enormous power, an enormous power. And
Yeah.
we harness that into as a people. We've got to harness that into as a nation. Um, and it's simple, but you've got to just go to the fundamental.
Yes, yes. So Facebook user says important statement Empress Seba activate the universal force in the USA has a greater challenge to do so. The USA flag has a greater challenge to what Holocaust in the womb? Yeah, surprise. Even Ye, the rapper, knows what's going on. Time, wake up again and stay awake and not go back to sleep. So yeah, that's an issue for me to help young women practice more birth control uh, and with their partner. This to me is the new paradigm, new plan for young women, for children, for young women to have both men and women talking about practicing birth control, not just leaving it on the woman.
But it goes deeper than that again.
Yes, thank you, sister.
It goes deeper than that again because we live in a society where our youth are being encouraged to have sex at ages where they're far too young.
Yes.
They're being forced to make decisions about their sexuality far too young. And yet we, talk about the birth control issue. That's like 4 or 5 steps down the line. You need to go back to first grade and give some healthy education to the little ones. You need to give some healthy sex education to the middle schoolers. You need to give a healthy environment for the teenagers to be able to understand what's happening. When all of those hormones are moving and raging, and we mustn't forget what it was like. I mean, I remember getting grounded for listening to Let's Get It On.
Oh yeah. The
I,
music was key.
I was just getting song, and my dad was like, "Well, you go get it on in your bedroom tonight because you are not going out." And I'm like, "Okay."
And I got it on with George Benson in college. That was my downfall. It's like George Benson was my favorite. So yeah, all that music, even if it didn't have words to it, that music did something to us. So we've got another comment here. Restoration of the river beds in North Carolina. If one feels that they can be of help, where do you recommend some specific organizations that you are connected to?
Well, there are a lot of different. It depends on what area you want to go in. Um, if you're in Marshall, or if you're one to Swannanoa, um, then there are going to be things that are going to be happening here in Weaverville. We're still like organizing. But if you want to pitch in, of course, just shoot me an email, or yeah, send me an email at empressmenen@gmail.com, and we'll put you to work. There's lots of work to be done.
Absolutely. Let me see. The road Leicester. Someone's sister asked if she was about the road Leicester. Mama Az, your mic is open. You're asking me. You're texting me a question. Did you ask that question already? The road. Do you know about the road?
No, ma'am. I didn't. I didn't. It's called Leicester. 58. I think it's 58 South Leicester. It's a community that's way high up. That's where Sister Yeye is.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Leicester. I called the sheriff department in that community, but they couldn't give me any information. All they said is that they did not have any major destruction there, and I was just curious. But it's Leicester, Sister Yeye.
Yeah, it's we pronounce it Leicester here. And I honestly,
You know what I'm saying?
I would.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Leicester. Leicester is
Okay. Where? All right. How far are you from there? That community, what in reference to where you are, sister?
I would say probably like maybe 25 or about 25 miles. It's another part of the city from where I am. I'm north. I haven't seen a hub for that area, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the areas that have been very badly affected, see the hubs. I haven't seen a hub for Leicester, but I can check.
Okay, I think I got your right email. Empres Menen at Gmail.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's my name at Gmail. Empres Menen at Gmail.
Okay, so everyone listening, I've got the Cash App there, $ Empress Seba, and then her email is there as well. So any other questions for our guest tomorrow? We have Zelda is on your event on the 14th. Can you give us some information on can people call in? It's a fundraiser, right?
It is. I don't know that we'll have that capacity, but we will be at Gallery 992 on Ralph Nathy there in the West End. So thank you, Pack, Kevin Williams, and WRFG for all of the support. Yeah, we will be there. There will be artists from the Atlanta area, as well as some artists from North Carolina that are down.
Okay, and that address is 992 Gallery Ralph David Abernathy in Atlanta.
Ralph David Abernathy.
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia, and it's Gallery 992.
And that's 7 p.m. on the 14th.
That's it.
So, sister, we have one more comment, and I want you to give us the final words on this season that we're in. Mom Maisie, let me read this comment, and then I'll let you speak. Face, love this. Just took off my shoes to get grounded on my oakwood floor. Hey, that's a start. I never thought about my wood floors grounding. It's amazing how these conversations can lead you to other revelations of nature right where you are. I am now barefoot and feeling its energy. Mama Joy, you read several of my comments. Thank you, Viana, and thank you for your guests. Okay, so this is Mama Joy, who is in Chicago. Thank you, my sister of the mic. She's one of our female solution hosts on the weekend. And so I'm barefoot all the time. In fact, I was just looking at my feet today, how cracked the skin was peeling, and I'm like, okay, I need to give some love to my feet. I started putting some oil on there and just rubbing them and saying how much I love my feet, because I'm just forever grateful that I have all these working parts at my age.
Oh, totally.
And I think that's part of where we are as baby boomers. If we have all our working parts, and Mom Az, you have a comment.
I do. I had the bounty, family, of spending about 2 weeks, 10 days, or 11 days in Tucson, Arizona, on the reservation with the Yaqui tribe. 99.5% of the time I was in my bare feet with all of that dirt. I inhaled so much dirt. I got a cold with all of that dirt in my lungs, but I didn't care. That is the best thing. You ground your feet in the dirt. You bury yourself, your body, in a pit, in the dirt, in a hole, and you stay there. You stay there for at least 3 or 4 days. You will become a new person. Family, I have been grounding since I was 5, and I didn't even know what it was. I've been sleeping when my dad would take us camping, fishing, whatever. I'd dig a hole and put my blanket in there,
Really?
and that's where I would sleep.
Wow.
At 5 years old, I had no idea of what I was doing until I moved to North Carolina. I was there in North Carolina in High Point for almost 40 years.
Wow.
And that's what I did. I dug holes deep as I was, up to my breast, and I stretched my arms out, and I would create a pit that wide, and I would sleep. I advise you to practice that, family. If you can't dig a hole like that, get somebody to help you, and you sleep. It grounded me so much to the point that the metal that I had in my body, I didn't even feel the pain. It ate a hole through my bones. It created other issues, but I didn't even feel it. That's how grounding the earth was to my body. So think about that, and thank you, sister, for being where you are, who you are, and we got work to do. It's time for the medicine women to come together again. Medicine women on the move. Thank us, Dr. V. Thank us, sister. That's all. Peace.
All right.
Oh.
And we've got, I forget, Zelda, did I put this? She has tomorrow morning, Monday morning mindfulness. Will your FAI score be affected by Trump? That's on YouTube, Higher Learning Network, tomorrow morning, 7 Central. And Empress, we've got a lot of people who are expressing a lot of low frequency emotions about the election. Everywhere, it's just, I'm just amazed how long it's taken people to pass through this wave, but it's needed, I guess. And I mean, everything from fear, disappointment, anxiety, grief, you name it. I've seen it. It's like, whoa, I'm like labeling these emotions now. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just, okay, that feels like a little guilt there. Oh, that feels like a little resentment. What do you have to say for especially our Black sisters? Because they're the ones I'm seeing displaying this more than anybody. And our sisters, I'm just feeling I'm an empath. So every time I see this, I'm like, oh, then I have to go sage myself and come out of that and go on and go and ground myself in nature. And that's how I come back. Oh, joy comes back. What do you have to say to the community of people who are still having these emotions about some one event that took place?
Well, I would say to them, sister, go ground yourself. Go move your stove and make sure that there's no fluff and no grease back there. And make a nice meal for yourself or for your loved one or for somebody. And keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, it's another system. And at the end of the day, don't be distracted one way or another. Please understand that ultimately, no matter who it was, if it was she, I mean, it's like we were so, when Obama won, not once, but twice. And there were things that happened. I mean, Muhammad Gaddafi was killed mercilessly under the Obama administration. And it kind of broke my heart in a way
Yeah, it broke a lot of hearts.
That I can't look at him and not think about that, and I can't forgive him, even though he was, I know and I feel that he was like following an agenda for Kamala. You know, in a sense, I think Creator protected her from something that we don't even know right now.
Right.
But what's more important is the vigilance of where we are right now.
Yes.
What it is that you've got to take care of. That's why move that stove. Because if you move the stove and it's dirty under there, honey, you ain't got time to be crying about Kamala.
Yeah. You know, that's been my voice as well, especially on Facebook the day after. I was like, oh, can we just stay in the present? Everybody was in the future the day after the election. Most of the things I was reading, the fear of the future. Oh, what is going to happen?
Seconds.
And I was like, okay, can we just like stay right here in this moment? And like you say, ground spiritually, mentally, everything, just ground in this. Didn't want, yeah, you get out of here. We got to stay in this victim mode for a while. So, all right, bye.
No, totally, because ultimately, we're still having to deal with
60 seconds.
Dealing with.
Yes.
You're still gonna have to, send your child to school. My friend up in Colorado was like, Empress, please, can you come and pour some libation for our children? I get a note, email from the school saying they're going to have lockdown drills, and I'm glad they sent me that note because I know to keep my child home. He's traumatized.
Yeah.
From lockdown drills.
Right.
We got stuff to do, ladies.
Yes, I'm telling you. Thank you. Thank us. I'm so grateful that you took this time to be with us. And We've got your Cash App here. So everybody who can and who's able, please send that love energy to her way. And then if you're in Atlanta, Georgia area, I have some friends and relatives. I'm going to have to send this to them on the 14th, which is only 4 days away. Please support or listen to the radio station. And my sister, may all the blessings and bliss, I like to say bliss, come to you in these next few weeks, because I want to be able to visit you one day. That's it.
Are most welcome to come. Particularly would like to have a gathering of all of you ones who are always out there pouring. So yes.
Yeah, exactly. I love my first visit there. I loved every minute of it, especially going up in the mountains. So I know I would love where you are. So
yes. Well, thank you so much for having me and for your beautiful, beautiful energy. Thank you, and blessings to everyone who's tuned in. Just remember, keep your head up. We got work to do.
that's right. Keep your head up, push forward. We got work to do. Thank us. Mwah. Love you, sister.
Bless.
We'll see you soon up there in the mountains. I can't wait. I can't wait.
For true.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
All right, everybody, have a great week. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Monday morning mindfulness, lots of energy coming to you of love and healing tomorrow morning. And to all my yogi friends, namaste, sat nam. I love you, and aloha in Hawaii. You got this. Stand strong. You can do this. Send in lots of love energy, strength. Everybody have a great week. It's keep your head up. Keep your head up. We